mutual respect. Apply today at Schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
The goal for those coming on the road, let's go get that first. And then here's what'll happen. There'll be you'll kind of be lackadaisical. Instead of keeping that energy, why not instead of keeping that energy, you'll probably see just a little bit more ease of play, because in the psyche, we did what we came to do.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People's City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Hey racing fans, this is Brie Marie inviting you to join me and James Rowland for the Finish Line every Sunday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Catch up with the local dirt track drivers, national racers, and everyone you need to know about in the world of racing. Don't spin your wheels, hit the gas, and join us Sundays at 7 p.m. for the Finish Line on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
Mornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the Mornay Pierson-El streaming in. You guys can join in 402-464-5685. We are live on the brick and mortar. No Royals tonight or state high school baseball for that matter. They will pick back up tomorrow, though. Nick Standard, Austin Norman, 12 o'clock for some more state high school baseball. The Mornay Pierson-El, how's it going on a pretty nice Thursday?
Not going bad at all. You know, one day closer to Friday.
Yeah, well said. One day closer to Friday, indeed. And it's been an interesting week. There's been NBA playoffs have been awesome. I'll say that much right off the bat. And we will get certainly to that Knicks Pacers game, and we'll talk about this Western Conference game 2 taken on tonight. But first things first, let's talk college football. The Mornay Pierson-El, are you surprised to see the 12-team playoff format is already getting changed after 1 year?
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is. They are going to change it. It is still the 12th team next year, but they're changing the seeding is the real question behind it. So this is verbatim on the article I'm reading here. So what they have is no longer is it the 5 highest ranked conference championships received automatic bids, with the 4 highest receiving the top 4 seeds and buys into the quarterfinal round. Those conference champs will still receive automatic bids, but the seeding for all 12 spots will be based on the final college football playoff ranking, regardless of who won their league. So if that's the case, last year it would have been 1 through 4, because again, now you're just going purely off the seeding. You're rewarding them if they win their conference, but it doesn't guarantee you that bye. So last year, if we would have done this system, it would have been Oregon as the 1 seed, Texas as the 2, Penn State as the 3, Georgia as the 4.
I don't.
Or excuse me, I had that backwards. Oregon as the 1, Georgia as the 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4. And that would put the teams like Arizona State, instead of them getting a bye for winning their conference, you just go off the college football playoff ranking.
So are they re-ranking them? So let's just say the first round is played, and then the next playoff, that next week, they're coming out with rankings and they'll be re-ranked again?
It's the final AP poll is what it's going to be based off of. And that
so regardless, even if you win your championship, even if you win your conference, that's still not you're still not one of the 4 to move by, correct?
Actually, I think let me double check here.
That's a little bit confusing.
And I think you can still get your bid. It just won't mean you necessarily get your bye. So the 5 highest ranked conference championships received automatic bids, with the 4 receiving the top 4 seeds. So the conference champs will still receive the automatic bids. The only thing changing is the seeding. So you're going with the final AP poll seeding, so that way you don't end up with, even though it worked out.
So even if you win your conference championship, but you come out and be ranked, you're at, like, let's just say the 6th spot. So you get the first round bye, but you're at 6, and if you get a higher seeded, you're playing an away game pretty much.
Yeah, the only way you get a home seed, or you get a bye in this one, is if you are 1 through 4 at the final AP poll, and then you can get
that again for what reason is that? I don't see any fairness necessarily with that at all.
It's so you don't have. I mean, I'm not saying right or wrong. That's just why. So the reason they did it, so you don't have Boise State getting a bye and Arizona State getting a bye last year. I
think Arizona deserved it. I mean, just because people played in a harder conference. If you played in a harder conference, then win 1 or 2 more games.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
like again, I feel this is biased toward. This is the SEC rule. That's what it is. You still want the SEC to reign dominant, so they're still playing favoritism to them. And I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't do what you needed to do to be one of the 4 seeds. So what does it matter?
I mean,
because
the Big Ten and SEC are throwing their weight around, and these other conferences can't do a damn thing about it. Because I got a quote from the ACC president as well that I want to read, and it says a lot.
I mean, the ACC should be mad. I mean, they were undefeated and missed out a few years ago, and then still ended up beating, I think, Georgia that year. So, I mean, I know he doesn't have anything good to say.
Yeah, well, like, this is just from everything that's been going on with all these meetings we've been talking about in New York. This is from the commissioner, Jim Phillips of the ACC. We all have a responsibility to serve our constituents while also being mindful as to what's best for college football. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips told ESPN, today's decision was done in the best interest of the sport. It may not always benefit the ACC, but it was the right decision, and that's a responsibility I take very seriously. So you have the ACC commissioner saying we are making decisions that are not within the best interest of our own conference, but within the best interest of the sport. They're getting so bullied around right now. They're just doing anything not to.
They're trying to get favors. They're trying to be the likable kid. That way, when it comes to, hey, remember I backed you. That's all that seems like and sounds like. I can understand for maybe Boise not having the first round bye, just because that is a different league and everything like that. I'm not saying that's necessarily fair, because I mean they did win majority of their games in their conference. So regardless if they even are seeded or whatever, they still put up a good fight against a good Penn State team. So
Arizona State put up a good fight. Boise State put up a good fight. Both teams did good.
And the SEC went down regardless. And I know that the last year, I think the SEC was trying not to adopt Texas, but Texas was so dominant, like you kind of had to fold in and get in on it.
Yeah, it's man, it's just crazy. I really don't like the comment from the commissioner Jim Phillips of the ACC.
No,
it to me it just says a lot about the Big Ten and SEC. Clearly have all the power right now, and all the other conferences are just going to do anything they possibly can to stay alive through it and just still be invited to the party and still
for sure
paychecks. But it's pretty clear that those guys are calling the shots and they're bullying. There's also the idea of the 4-4-2-2-1 model becoming more prevalent. Again, talking about this college football playoff model. It would grant the Big Ten and the SEC 4 automatic bids. 2 bids would then go to each of the Big 12 and ACC, with 1 going to the highest ranked group of 6 conference. So
again, then why does it matter if you're why does the seeding matter if you automatically going to bid 4 teams from each conference, and what if 2 of those teams are not in the top 10 or outside of the top 12? Then what? You are, regardless if somebody did better, and it's just too much politicking, and they're trying to control the outcome of the game a little bit too much. Like you're making something where it doesn't have to be it.
Yeah,
like,
they want their teams to be in at the end. They want to hoist the trophy because they'll get the most money if they do. I mean, that's purely what it is. If you're the ACC, if you're the SEC in the Big Ten, like, you understand you have the leverage, and it's up to you how long you keep that leverage. So right now, unless the NCAA does something, which they won't, like, the Big Ten and SEC are never going to give that up. As long as they're football games, they're going to forever carry the power, is what it feels like. Even though it's a little soul note for those other conferences that are not the Big Ten or SEC. But yeah, I mean, the worst part about all of this to me is also, like, we're already like fixing it, and at the same time, you guys are meeting in New York, less than a month ago, talking about the college football playoffs being 18 teams and 28 or 26.
Everybody gets a participation award. Like, like I said, I think the product of what they had, was good. And you can say, oh, some of those first couple of games, due to weather or due to a bigger, better team or whatever. I mean, like, and the SEC can cry about, well, we had better teams or whatnot. Yeah, but y'all also had teams that had more than 3 losses. And you can say what you want to say about Clemson. They won that conference. So outright, regardless, that's the trump card. So you want better. If you want your rightful place to be, then didn't win the games you're supposed to win. It doesn't matter of, our conference is harder and whatnot. Okay, well then do what you need to do and take care of business. You shouldn't have lost the games late in the season. How 2 or 3 teams did and whatnot, and y'all might have had 5 teams in the playoffs, but. I mean, it's being biased and showing favoritism, and it's not even to the Big Ten, because at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like the Big Ten showed up and they handled business. You couldn't say anything about Indiana. You couldn't say anything about Ohio State. You couldn't say anything about Penn State. You couldn't say anything about Ohio State. They outright earned, their place. The only people that were crying was the SEC. You didn't see Ohio State cry about the path that they had to go. You didn't see Notre Dame cry about the path that they had to go. You didn't even see Boise State cried about, their path had to go. The only people that were crying was Texas. And I mean, Oregon was probably mad at the situation and everything like that, but, they still took it on the chin and, kept things moving or whatnot. So the only people that were mad and upset was the SEC. And I feel like doing that, kind of, you're giving, your kid or your baby that's throwing a tantrum, you're not correcting you're not correcting, I don't want to say their mistake, but you're not correcting the behavior. You're rewarding it. And I mean, like I said, so what happens if that same situation happens again, this year? Then what? You know what I mean? So I mean, they're always going to cry about something, and it's crazy that you didn't control and handle your business how you were supposed to handle, and you're mad that you didn't have a seat at the big table. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, and it's such a knee-jerk reaction too from the SEC. Like, it's 1 year.
Like, you already play one less game than everybody else. You have cupcake games set up. At least, like, I mean, so if you're crying, and even if you're crying about strength of schedule and whatnot, okay, well, maybe your in-conference games, or let's say 6, maybe 7 of your in-conference games, or 5 to 7 of your in-conference game might be a tough schedule, but the other 2 non-conference games that you schedule, and the fact that you have less of a game, I would think would hurt your overall difficulty of your roster, but yet they don't talk about that necessarily.
No,
so,
they never.
It's funny how you say, that they argue that they're the superior conference and that they're stronger or whatnot, but yet you play one less game than the other conferences, and you set up your games late in the season to where you finish the season stronger than most conferences. So if that's the case, then make a rule to where your out of conference games has to be honestly within the first 3 games, and add that extra game into the SEC. And you might have not had that situation that the 5 teams that ran into where they were all 8-3, I think, or 8-4 at the end of the season. That extra game could help an extra 2 of your teams to possibly get in. I mean, it's already going to be a bias there, but yet, and that's another home or away game. That's more money, but you don't want that type of money to come into it. So it's funny how they go about, what's fair and what's not fair, and what's harder and what's not harder. But yet the playing field isn't level compared to the other conferences.
Yeah, and the thing with the SEC as well, and like how they play their games, we've talked about it before, but it just makes so much sense for the SEC and the Big Ten to get together on how many conference games do we want to play? 9? Okay, let's everybody play 9.
Period.
It's that easy. But that's the problem with college football. And as great as a product as it is to watch, it's like all the nuanced stuff on the outside that's, we're changing the 12 seed playoff format right now. We're also talking about making it 18 in less than 2 years. We're also figuring out the NIL. Have we got a damn conclusion on like any of the changes in college football in the last 5 years?
No.
Like, there's zero conclusions on any of the changes. But we just keep bringing more and more changes to it because certainly that'll make it work. It's a little bit infuriating. Like NIL, this conference scheduling, the college football playoffs, like you guys are taking on every single change possible right now, and you can't get one solid conclusion in a clean timeline. Like it's always dragged out, it always takes way too long. And I mean, that's just my frustration with it because they know it's worth so much damn money, and they know they got to get away with just pushing the money where they want it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the most clean, elaborate playoff bracket or scheduling out there because it's just going to be pushed to what brings us the most money or gives us the best chance to make the college football playoff so we can win the most money. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, that's kind of a rant there, but I'm fed up with like all this college football. It's just every day I feel like I read a new college football article about some new rule change or them maybe backing off of the 105 roster now, or maybe we do want to keep it at the 105. It's just feels like we're constantly.
I feel like for them, I feel like the NCAA has a way easier time punishing the athletes. The athletes see the more punishment and they go through a lot more than the NCAA itself with taking accountability for things, with coaches doing certain things and taking accountability for things. But you hold kids that you're supposed to be grooming you hold kids and athletes to a higher standard when they're still figuring out, they're still learning and adjusting to things. But yet it's not the same, for the adults in the situation. And you can, it's okay for them to change something and, the rules or for them to move the finish line and everything like that. And yet it still it comes down to affecting one thing, and that's the students athletes. So I don't get it at all. It's very, very frustrating. I understand it's a business of things and whatnot. And even when, like I said, even when you added, NIL and money into the situation, who got affected more? Kids, because they lose out on going to school and furthering their education. So it's a joke that it's kind of gotten to that, and like they are moving further away from, I guess, what the core values or what the NCAA or what actually kind of going to college is supposed to mean and everything like that. But yet they keep changing rules to this and changing rules to that, and we see exactly where their priorities are. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, sometimes it does even feel like, what even is college football anymore? I love it. I'm going to watch it. Don't get me wrong. But like, there is certain moments, we just kind of forget about it because it does happen so fast. But like the idea that you can go play JUCO and then still show up to a 4-year university as
it's crazy.
True freshman.
You thought the COVID year super seniors were gone. No, they're back.
You find a way to revive.
If you would have said they had 3 years, I'd be like, okay, I could get that. They have a red shirt year or whatever, and then or a medical year, and move on. But 4 years, like, come on now, like that's again hurting kids' chances with getting to college. Because why would I, and I'm not saying me, but other college coaches and everything like that, they have to make a living and they have to win or they have to be successful and everything like that. Well, if I already got a kid who's or already got a person who's 2 years older than the average person that comes in and he can stay here for 4 years, why would I even recruit as many high school athletes if I can kind of go get something off the shelf that's already understands the thing, that's already stronger, that's already accustomed to kind of the college life and thing and everything like that. And again, it's affecting the kids that are coming out of high school and not necessarily bettering their transition or their life and everything like that. So my thing is, let's just say, I think once you start to my knowledge, once you start at the collegiate level, like you have a clock that clock starts and it stops. Once it runs out of time, that's what it is. I was wondering if a kid leaves and go to JUCO for a year or two, does that reset the clock and he gets an additional 4 years? Or do you account the 2 years that he already kind of had? You know what I mean? So again, it's very, very murky water, and like I said, I mean, it doesn't paint a clear picture for the student athletes. And I'm not just talking about football. I mean, that could be basketball, that can be baseball, that can be softball, soccer, and everything like that. Like it's at all levels.
Yeah, and it's just not, it's not what we grew up watching. That's
no.
Like the high school recruits, they get the raw end of the deal because you're going to want to get the transfer portal guy as opposed to get a true freshman in there. Like, obviously those guys going to get recruited because you have to build your classes up, but they've certainly taken a hit from it. And then just the NIL stuff, like I'm not going to talk about it in depth. I do see we got a caller as well. We don't got another producer to screen it. So if you want to chime in, 402-464-5685, let me know what you want to talk about. I can bring you in that way, but without knowing exactly who's calling in, I won't be able to take it blind. But real quick, I just want to wrap up with, talk about college football here is it's just, it's gotten so far away from like the student part, which is at some point that has to be a focus.
For sure.
I understand there's NIL, but that money, especially if they don't go pro, did they get their degree at the end of their football career? I hope so, because that money dries up, especially when you're used to having, 6 figures in the bank account, and then all of a sudden didn't leave your football career with a degree. And even if you did leave with the degree, you go out there and make a $50K salary. It's a lot less than whatever your NIL was. I'm almost sure.
You know how I feel about that. Like I said, I feel like the money needs to necessarily go into a trust each and every year, a certain percentage of it, a stronger percentage of it. And if you hit certain marks, you will be rewarded early, if you do what you're supposed to. I think that will have the athletes to, at least chase something and everything like that, versus you just handing an 18-year-old kid, 6 figures at a time or more figures at a time and everything like that. But yet, nobody thought about that at all. We're just gonna give, kids that amount of money who, college is a time for you to kind of figure out, who you kind of are as an adult, change kind of what you were growing up and figuring out, who you are, and what do you want to do and everything like that. And money, kids are easily influenced. Adults are easy influenced. So I think that just makes the job a lot harder. And it's like, okay, if you wanted to pay athletes and everything like that, like you should have had that in mind. Mm-hmm. When building the rules or setting parameters. And I understand, certain people don't want to do things or whatnot. But again, if you're supposed to, you're supposed to help the next generation, get to certain points and everything like that. I think that's a huge part of, setting up, not only financial literacy, but, them just being respectable people and not, just burning through things. So you thought 30 for 30 broke with something. Like I said, let's see in 5-6 years and everything like that, the athletes that didn't go, or the athletes that created new bad, intentions or bad hobbies and everything like that. Let's see how, that they end up and whatnot, and kind of what they're going to come up off of. So like I said, I mean, I think it's gotten the furthest thing. Well, I wouldn't say the furthest thing, but it's gotten far away from the main thing being the main thing.
Absolutely. Well said. And quick correction here as we go to break here. Shout out unknown texter 0597. It is the going all the way back to, we're talking about the college football playoff. It is actually not the AP poll. So they are using the college football playoff rankings. That's how they're going to seed them. So the official college football playoff rankings. So you go back to the committee. How is the committee?
Again, I mean, can we get a vote, or can we see, each and every year who's on the committee? Because if you got more people from one conference or whatnot, I mean, they can clear having an agenda and, I don't want to say sabotage, but, put their agenda up against everybody else, and it's, majority rules type situation. So the teams that should get rewarded, I don't think will be rewarded at all, because of people will have an agenda behind the room, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and it's hard to, even if like you get the most purest group of people in there, like where they come from is going to have a subconscious bias as to how they decide. So it's tough. Like, I don't know what the perfect system is, but that is a good correction. It is that committee. It's like college football playoff rankings. More changes in college football, but we'll put a pin on college football. We'll talk the NBA world next. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt Tower. Mornay Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey guys, it's AD. Join us on Friday from 9 to 11 a.m. for The Drive at A1 Automotive's brand new location at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill in South Lincoln. We'll be on ahead of the grand opening, which goes from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., which will have giveaways, free food, and tours. We'll see you on Friday at the brand new A1 Automotive.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Mornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour. Mornay Pierson-El streaming in. You guys can join in as you had in the first segment. Appreciate the comments. 402-464-5685. And you can also put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961 if you got Allo Cable. Let's switch it up, though, and talk some NBA basketball. Mornay Pierson-El, did you catch the crazy Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals game yesterday?
Man, I think the East has had better games than the West, honestly.
It's been fun. I'm surprised by it. The East, I was wrong. I was dead wrong on the East. I was talking about how the East isn't even going to be worth watching. It's been way more interesting. The West has had a lot of fun too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, what is Halliburton alone is what 4 for 5 on buzzer beaters in this year's playoff runs alone. He's been unreal. Naismith hit 6 of 7 in the fourth quarter last night to bring the Pacers all the way back, and they win it in overtime. Halliburton, what's the crazier buzzer beater? The Kawhi Leonard bouncing on the rim 5 times before dropping, or Halliburton moonshot off the back iron?
Kawhi Leonard. It was game 7.
Yeah, it was game 7. That's
game 7. And Halliburton double dribbled on that last play that didn't get called.
No, if you there's an angle. If
I
you
don't want to hear it.
It definitely gets knocked out of his hand. It was the right call not to call it a double dribble.
Can't believe it.
I will send, when we go to break, I will send you the angle. You'll be like, "Oh, okay."
Please do.
I will. It's
but I mean that's on New York. I think New York was just kind of trying to play it safe, and at least not. I mean, I'm not saying you got to get a 3 and everything like that, but at least get easy 2, get to the bucket and whatnot. I think they were just trying to rush through things and everything like that. You got to eat more clock. You got to make them foul you and everything like that. Like that was total, bad management by them those last 2 minutes, because they should have had that one.
Yeah, they I'm not super worried about the Knicks yet. I think it's a resilient team, but they definitely pissed that one away.
Yeah,
because even before you got to 2 minutes, game plan, slow it down. We're up, guys. Like there's no need to play fast, especially knowing the Pacers
want to play fast.
They want to do. They want to go up and down the court. Like you guys need to slow it down and keep slowing it down. And they just played a little bit too up tempo for whatever reason. And then the game got close, and then it just felt like they're a little bit unsure of how fast they even wanted to play. It's like they're playing really well right now. And if we slow down, they might, actually be playing well enough to take over. And they felt like they didn't know exactly how they should be playing down the stretch there. But I will say, is this the 2 best coaches left in the playoffs right now between Rick Carlisle and Tibbs?
I think you still have to throw OKC coach in there.
Bagnall, yeah, he's nice. Rick College has been doing it forever, and because he's on Utah, nobody ever talks about him. But he's one of those coaches that has stayed.
It's not. I don't know about the best two, because I mean, just how OKC's kind of been these last few years, and how dominant they've been this year. They definitely stepped it up and learned things. And I mean, that could have the last couple of years of their teams, could have. Shot their confidence, and they could have went the other way. But, for them to be the number one seed 2 years in a row, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have to kind of throw that in there. So I don't know about the best two, but I would say between those three organizations, those are probably the top coaches. So, but I don't know if the East has the number one and number two best coach. I would say. I would go with New York, and then OKC's coach, and then the Pacers coach.
Okay, I'm going on. Give me a Rick Carlisle. Give me the continuity of the Jazz. They've been nice. I never know how to grade coaches in the NBA, because I do think they make a very, very minute difference, but in the playoffs, that's exactly what you need. Mm-hmm. 1/10% of that coach. What can he provide? What can he call in this one play that gives us the lead in the, in the stretch?
I mean, for me, just looking at the Knicks, for them to make the trade that they did and to get the players that they have, and, they look like a completely different team than they did last year. And their journey to getting where they are as of right now is impressive. So that's why I think, the Knicks definitely have probably the number one coach, just of all the moves that they've necessarily had to make and everything like that. 2, I would go with OKC, and I mean, like I said, for you to kind of go back to back as number one, that's not easy. You got an MVP winner on your team and everything like that. Not to say that what the coach in Indiana has done isn't, outstanding and whatnot. But were they in the Eastern Conference Championship last year? Was it the Pacers and the Pacers and Boston? So. That's already a strong team and everything like that. I'm not saying that they didn't have much changes or whatnot, but I think the other two teams have done just a little bit more to kind of outstretch them by a little bit.
Yeah, and it's it's been a pleasure to watch. I'll say
for
this,
sure.
The playoffs have been so much better than I anticipated, and I'm happy for it. This ratings, while I know they were really, really good for this Pacers Knicks games. But we do got to talk about just the iconic Halliburton. He does hit that buzzer beater. Throws back to Reggie Miller. What's up the choke?
I think that's too early. I think that's too early. Because what happens if New York goes on a run? If I'm not mistaken, I think that Reggie Bush choke was later in the games or to wrap up the series.
I think so. You text line could correct me if I'm wrong. What was the Reggie Miller? Was it the final game of the series there?
So I'm all about paying, tribute to things and everything like that. But is that not the same thing of what people are, congratulating him or this, it's all good. I'm not saying it's bad, but kind of be a little bit more creative and come up something with your own type of thing. It's the same thing with Jason Tatum last year when, he kind of did the iconic Kevin Garnett, we did it type situation. And people were mad and upset about him for, copying and everything. So, I mean, is that not the same thing?
No, because this is Pacers Knicks, to the team.
Oh, my God. Okay.
The only thing I will say the only thing I would change shouldn't have been Halliburton, should have been Naismith who did it. Naismith was 8 of 9 from 3. And again, 6 of 7 in the fourth quarter. Naismith was a nuke.
Just game one, did they necessarily choke in that moment? That's debatable, but that can come back. That could come back to to bite you. You know what I mean? So it's just I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if you do that, make sure it's the nail in the coffin. And I don't necessarily know right then and now it's the nail in the coffin. I'm not upset about it and everything like that. It's just yeah, I get it, but it's game one.
That's a good take. I like it. Be cautious if it's not the nail in the coffin, because you know what? If it's game 7 and Brunson hits a buzzer beater, you do not want to look.
You're sick. You're upset. Now, I guarantee you, like somebody on the Knicks is coming up with something just in case when they do put the nail in the coffin for them to kind of combat that moment. It's like you're adding fuel to the fire. Not that they needed more fuel and everything like that, but it's one of those things like you might have woke up a sleeping giant, or you might have ticked the bear off a little bit too much.
Yeah, and this is a tough Knicks team. I think this is one of the more resilient teams in terms of just their composure.
Mm-hmm.
And as brutal as it was, I very hard to believe that this is going to shatter their confidence and their belief that they're going to win this series. Like I still fully believe that the Knicks are committed and they think they're going to win this series.
For sure.
Even if you look at the tape, I know the Pacers won, but defensively, you saw a lot of problems with them. Like the Knicks were taking advantage of it, and they did, lose the lead in that second half, but it did come through just some incredible shooting that you're going to be incredibly fortunate if you're the Pacers to find again. More likely the Knicks will find that next time around, not the Pacers. So I'm not super worried about the Knicks, but we do got one more game tonight. Should be tipping off already, actually.
Yep.
Game 2, Western Conference. You got I want to keep saying Nuggets. Nuggets got eliminated. The Thunder.
I got Minnesota. I think. I mean, we've that game one. Minnesota played very sloppy. Ant went down for a little bit and everything like that. And we've seen them, have a lot of turnovers early on and kind of same thing when they sat a little bit, kind of get back in the groove. Minnesota got everything, kind of what they wanted outside of turnovers, and they had, I think, one or two players that I don't want to say show up, but who's the tall? I think he wears 11. I think he had like 3 or 4 points like in the fourth quarter, and they lost by what? Close to 20 or something like that. If he has 15 or something like that, and they don't lose and they don't have as many turnovers, that could be very well a different game. So I'm not. If I'm OKC, yeah, you got game one, but I felt like that game was more so Minnesota self-inflicted wounds. And they'll tighten up things, but we've seen that by Minnesota, a few times coming out game one, having playing sloppy and a lot of turnovers, and each game they've picked the intensity up. We've seen Minnesota kind of out physical them already and kind of get into that game and whatnot. So we're going to see how exactly OKC kind of snaps back when, there isn't, what I think it was 19 turnovers. I think
they had Timberwolves would finish the game with a whopping 17.
They had 31 points off of turnovers.
Yeah, 17 turnovers is what they finished, and they did get 31 points.
Yeah, so if you cut that down by by 6, and like I said, your two people that, and like I said, Ant didn't really have an off night, but rolled his ankle and kind of they kind of protected him type situation, and one of their role players didn't just have I don't want to say he had an off night, he just wasn't scoring. So with that coming back, like I said, once they kind of catch their win and get in pace and everything like that, Minnesota's going to be a scary team. So I got Minnesota tonight.
I'll go Minnesota on the belief that they learned from their mistakes. They need to be more aggressive. The most damning stat, and this is the worst part about today's playoffs, is every now and then you will see really, really good teams get caught in this trap. 51 from 3.
I got a question for you. So in game one, I know OKC won, but how it played out, do you honestly think OKC was the better team? Even with all the mistakes and everything, like I know they won, but I'm saying were they the better team if as many mistakes necessarily didn't happen? Do you think they would have still came out on top the way that they did?
Not by as much, but I do think they're the better team. Like a lot of those mistakes, they were forcing it. I just think, and Anthony Edwards even talked about it, like their defense is really good in a weird way. It feels, and like to quote him, he says, it feels like you're playing an AAU team where, they're jumping screens, they're going under it all of a sudden they're wanting to ice, on all these backside screens. Now all of a sudden they're not doing it. Now they're dropping into a zone. Now they're pressing up on Anthony Edwards every chance they get. You got Lou Dort, you got Alex Caruso. They just got a ton of bodies and a really deep bench to where they can play a bunch of different styles. And, the Timberwolves, I think, just get more comfortable with that team because that team does just have a ton of looks they can throw at you. So I think it will get better. But I do just think that's what makes OKC so good is that versatility. Kind of a rant there, but that's how I'd answer it.
Gotcha.
All right. With that being said, we'll throw it to break and we'll talk about is USA even the best of basketball anymore. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about that next. Don't Punt Hour to Mornay Pierson-El, Harrison Arts.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hey guys, it's AD. Join us on Friday from 9 to 11 a.m. for The Drive at A1 Automotive's brand new location at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill in South Lincoln. We'll be on ahead of the grand opening, which goes from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., which will have giveaways, free food, and tours. We'll see you on Friday at the brand new A1 Automotive.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
At Allo, we go beyond internet, bringing you faster speeds backed by an all-fiber network. We go beyond TV and phone service, delivering reliable, crystal clear connections. We go beyond customer service with local teammates and no robots for a hassle-free experience. We go beyond value, offering transparent prices with no contracts, hidden fees, or data caps. We even go beyond our office doors by working, hiring, volunteering, and living in the communities we serve. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at allofiber.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Mornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in at Don't Punt Hour. Mornay Pierson-El, streaming in. Harrison Arns back here at the Ticket Studios. You guys can always join in via the Starter Heyman text line or any of the streams as you have been throughout the show. Mornay Pierson-El, I left the last segment asking if the USA is even the best at basketball anymore, and I asked this because who was the last MVP that wasn't American?
Probably LeBron.
No. Can you guess the year?
It may have been Steph.
No, that's a good guess, though. Pretty much got the MVP by the same method.
I would say probably 2018, 2019.
Oh, nailed it. Yeah, 2018, 19, or excuse me, 2017, 18.
Okay.
Houston, James Harden.
Okay.
And
not too far off.
What's crazy is we have this stretch of USA after USA after USA, and every now and then you'll run into some runs like 04-05. It was Steve Nash. He got it back-to-back years, and then Dirk for Germany, but then it goes back to the U.S. Lately, it's 18-19, Giannis, 19-20, Giannis, 20-21, Jokic, 21-22, Jokic, 22-23, Embiid, 23-24, Jokic, 24-25, Shea. So that's Greece, Serbia, Cameroon, Serbia, Canada.
I mean, all those dudes that you didn't necessarily listed, the one thing that they have common is that they won the finals. I don't think it's different from an American player. It's just that the players that you're saying, I mean, that they're playing absolutely out of their mind. They just so happen to be, not, American and everything like that. I don't think
non-American players play out of their mind. The question I'm trying to ask, is this just an anomaly, or is this the trend you expect to continue?
I don't think necessarily a trend that will I don't think it'll be something you continuously to see. But I mean, there are times where things, in history go on runs. So I think we just might be, in one of those runs. We have, players coming in, every year and whatnot. And depending on how good they are in their position with their teams, can dictate, how good they are. Because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago when Devin Booker and the Suns, I think, lost in the finals and whatnot, Devin Booker that year was playing out of his mind. Mm-hmm. And he was probably a close favorite. So I just think the superstars or the rising superstars in the game now, I mean, they're just taking advantage, right situation at the right time, and they're just sitting at top right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. We will see more international players just because the game's grown that much win MVPs down the road. But I do think we were just in a stretch. In my mind, seriously should have won it again. You're likely not going to have a guy win 4 out of 5, and realistically should have won 5 out of 5 if you count this year. Because whatever you think about the Shea one, if you want to give it to Shea, I can tip my cap and walk away and disagree. If you want to talk about Joel Embiid deserving to get more than Jokic, you clinically don't deserve an opinion. That's insane at that point. So you this one guy who realistically could have won 5 straight MVPs. He's an anomaly of a player. So
for sure. But I think, there are some guys on the American side that are in line or that caliber type player. I think Anthony Edwards is up there. I think Jalen Brunson and what he's kind of doing, I think he's not too far off from that situation and everything like that. And then a dark horse, I mean, Kyrie and their team and what they're going to be able to do once everything is healthy and whatnot. I mean, he can
into the mix.
I don't know about MVP. That's a long shot. Well,
no, I'm not saying make him MVP, but that Mavericks gets really good.
Yeah. So, but that
super flag on there
for sure. So, I mean, I think you have some American guys that it's don't be surprised if it takes off and get there. We've seen Kyrie come back from injuries and how he's looked and everything like that. So I like I said, it could be a tide of a turn coming soon. And like I said, some of those guys are right then and there. I mean, who's to know? Somebody might have a breakout year. Steph is still, you can throw his name, in that situation and everything like that. So there are American players out there. They just have to compete kind of with some of these freak of athletes that have won it in the past.
Yeah, and I think that's the part where we're meeting the freaks of the other countries right now.
Yeah.
We got the Greek freak. He came in on 1-2. Victor Wembanyama supposedly one of the young guys that's in the running for it. But, to your point, we also got some Americans. Chet Holmgren, another Thunder. He's young player.
If LaMelo Ball gets somewhere different, I mean,
get him out of Charlotte.
I mean, who knows? He's an exciting player, homegrown. He has a following and whatnot. So, right situation, right time, he can be that.
Absolutely. We'll have plenty more NBA to talk about down the road, but that's going to wrap it up for us this week. We'll talk to you again Monday, but me and Jackson more Tick Weeknights coming your way next.